Hi, this is Ray Jr. of CashForHouseMiracles.com, and this is Cash for House Scams you're going to want to avoid. So as the old saying goes, forewarned is forearmed, and I want you forewarned against the scams that can happen in cash for house deals. But even better than that is an old saying that says any fool can learn from their own mistakes, but a wise man or woman learns from the mistakes of others. Here's some of the major mistakes people make when selling their homes for cash that most other cash buyers won't even tell you because they're not even necessarily trying to scam you, they just don't want you fully prepared and fully armed. Well, I do. It's more important to me that you get the top dollar for your house the right way at the right time than it is that I make a killing. The most important thing is that it's fair for both sides. So let me talk to you about some of the scams that are out there. First of all, there should be no fees to you whatsoever when somebody's buying your house for cash. And the reason for this is because you're probably giving up a little bit of equity for a fast trade on your property. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure you're not also having to pay to give up some of that equity. You want the deal to be fair, and you'll decide ultimately what fair looks like, not the person that's buying it from you. And remember, whatever they offer you, you can always say no. Don't be offended. It's a part of the deal-making process. Just listen to the offers, and when you like an offer, take it. If you don't like it, don't take it. But the bottom line is, it should never cost you anything to do a cash for house deal. You should pay no closing costs, even though you normally would in a deal. You should pay absolutely no commissions, no fees, no brokerage fees, nothing. It should cost you absolutely zero. When you sit down at the closing table, there should be nothing in your column as far as fees that you paid or will have to pay for the closing. It should be zero, dead, nothing. Next, never pay an application fee. I don't care who the person is. I don't care who the company is. I don't care if it's the most reputable name you've ever heard. I don't care if it's someone telling you they're going to give you double what your home is worth. But especially in that scenario, because that's clearly a scam. No matter what the reason, do not ever, ever, ever pay an application fee. I don't care if it's $10. Don't pay an application fee. Legitimate cash for house buyers like myself will never charge you a fee to buy your home from you. Next, if you're in foreclosure, as many are who are looking for a cash for house deal, there's lots of different types. People that are landlords that don't want to be landlords anymore. People that are sick of paying their mortgage. People that have to move, or they're in a bankruptcy, or they're in a foreclosure or probate, or they've inherited a property, they got a new job, they got to leave. There's lots of different reasons people need a cash for house deal, but one of those is always foreclosure. It's a pretty regular theme. And what I'm telling you is, if you're in foreclosure, many cash for house places will try and stall you until you get so desperate in your foreclosure that you have no choice but to sell your home immediately so that you don't go all the way through the foreclosure process. So don't let them stall you. I mean, the major reason is what I just told you, because they want to try and get you to a place where you're so desperate you have no choice. But the bigger reason actually is because the longer you wait in foreclosure and the longer you sit in foreclosure, the worse your credit gets and the longer it's going to take you to rebuild to get to a place where you can actually buy another property at some point. So make your deal, make it as soon as you possibly can, get a cash offer from us right away, and don't let yourself be pressured by cash buyers that tell you to wait and sit around your foreclosure. A couple of other really important things. First of all, don't be pressured to sign too quickly. Second of all, don't sign anything that you don't take the time to read. If they don't have the time to wait for you to read through it, tell them have a nice day and see them to the door. Don't sign anything under pressure. Next, I want to read you something right from our website because it's critical that you get it exactly the way that we put it on the website. Be very wary of anyone that tells you to stop making payments on your mortgage. If you can afford it, keep making payments on your mortgage. Now, there are moments to do strategic default. And what a strategic default is where somebody can afford to keep making their payments to their mortgage company, but they decide not to. They manually put themselves into default because it is true that sometimes more options can open up when you're in foreclosure. But it comes to a lot of risk and danger too. So you want to make sure that if you decide to use a strategic default, it's not simply because a cash for house buyer told you to do it. It is something you can discuss with a cash for house buyer. It is something you could potentially use to strategically sell your house to a cash for house buyer to get the price that you're looking for. But don't do it just because the cash for house buyer says that you should do it. The next thing is be very wary of cash for house buyers that insist on upfront payments or accept payments via Visa, cashier's checks, or wire transfers. Here's why. There shouldn't be any payments. Okay, so there should be no reason for them to take a payment from you. It should cost you nothing, as I've already said, to sell your house to a cash for house buyer. So there you have it. It's not an exhaustive list of all the scams that companies can pull, but it's the biggest traps that most first-time cash for house sellers fall into when they're selling their home for cash for the very first time. So if you pay attention to those, you're likely going to be able to skate away from the problems you might have run into having not known those things. Now, when you're dealing with a legitimate, reputable company like ours, we're going to give you a cash offer for free. We're going to get it to you very quickly. So take the time right now. The number's on your screen. Give us a call. We'd be more than happy to give you a cash offer in minutes, not days. And here's some great news. We're going to give you that free $20 Visa gift card just for taking the time to chat with us and let us evaluate your property. There's no strings, no gimmicks, no nothing. It's absolutely free to you while supplies last. So give us a call at the number on your screen or fill out the form that you'll see right there as well. And give us an opportunity to give you a legitimate, non-scam cash offer on your property today. And now you are forewarned and forearmed.